I'd like to knock it, you know.
Yeah.
Just like I'd like to say, hey, listen, you know, you saw me tooling around in that green truck for years. It was no fun, mate. It was all work. I was slugging it out just for people like you. That's all bullshit.
I was going to say, I call bullshit.
Truth is, I loved every minute of it.
Roothy, how are you, good sir?
Hey, it's good to see you again, Ben. I'm good.
Mate, it is, and you've been busy.
I was going to say the same.
Well, yes.
You've moved, you've changed everything around.
Yeah, it's been an undertaking. I'll say that.
Undertaking is not far from undertaker.
No.
Okay.
No. It is. It's probably one of the only times in the last couple of years where moving the shed where I went, geez, I wish I had staff. But that's pretty rare, so, you know, I'll just cop that one. But anyway, cheers for coming down, my man.
Let's drink to not having too many staff, mate.
Absolutely. Oh.
Very civilised.
Very civilised.
Very civilised.
You have been everywhere.
Oh, righto.
That song something come up on TikTok the other day. Was that I've been everywhere. I was like, you have been everywhere. You've been all over the place. What have you been doing?
Yeah, well, how do I explain this? Years ago, I was a tour guide. That's how I got into the bush stuff. I think we talked about that.
We did.
Right. So I knew a lot of tour guides in those days.
Yeah.
One of them was a bloke who did Harley rides down on the Great Australian Bight.
Yes.
So years later, his son winds up running tours overseas, sets up his own company, Nevermind Adventure.
Right.
His name's Matt.
Yeah.
Matt Natowski. We call him Natters. And so he set up these overseas trips, and they're brilliant.
Yeah.
And basically, you know, it's if you want to go overseas and ride a motorbike, most of the time they'll just say, well, give us your firstborn child and everything you got, you know, and for a mere 10 grand a day, we'll stick you on a new BMW and show you the Swiss Alps. Well, Nat doesn't do that. Natus doesn't do that.
Right.
He goes the other end of it with concessions. So by that I mean we went to Sri Lanka, we rode old 350 Enfields.
Right.
Which are they look like 1940s, you know, single cylinder, big tank. They've been building the same bike for, I don't know, since they bought the factory in the 1950s.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And they're a good thing.
Yeah.
I mean, over the years they got disc brakes. Don't really work, but, you know, they look like discs. But if you're in a place like Sri Lanka, where the top speed limit's 80 k's, where people take their ox-driven wagons down the main street, where buses stop on corners, you know, like anything can happen any time.
Right.
You don't want a bloody GS BMW or a Harley or something.
No.
So we go over there. I say we because I'm working with him now.
Right.
Because I'm having fun.
Yeah.
What happened was he sort of said, well, you know, I get a lot of people sort of your end of the age scale, which is a nice way of him saying, if you come along, there'll be another 20 years worth of old bastards want to come too.
Right.
So we're the guys with the money, aren't we? You know, supposedly, not me.
Right.
But the older guys retired, we got the time, we got the money.
Yes.
You know, we got the freedom. So he said, I want to look at that end of the market. And as it turns out, most of his market is pretty varied, but they're people who aren't short of a quid.
Right.
You know, you want to go overseas and ride a motorbike, it's still going to cost you.
Yeah.
But his trips, he organises the trips like he likes them, which is the motorbikes, you know, they're good. They're not great, they're good. Yeah. They suit the country.
Yeah.
The accommodation is first rate. It's always good accommodation. But most third world countries, you can get accommodation. If you know what you're doing, you can find the right places. You get resort-style accommodation for a lot less.
Yeah.
So, and the meals, you know. So if you know, he knows his way around. He has guys like me and his team who go out and explore the new places and, you know, try all the restaurants and try the accommodation and try the bikes, try the roads. And we plan these trips that are all back roads and...
Yeah, all the good stuff.
Back roads on a motorbike, you know.
All the view.
Yeah, so Sri Lanka, I took my missus. You know, we did some pretty unusual things. We got stopped by a rogue elephant in the middle of a national park. That was pretty crazy.
Yeah.
You know, we were up the hills one day, we're down the bottom the other. We rode through tea plantations and, you know, we saw Sri Lanka's about the size of Tasmania, but it's got 25 million people
Wow.
instead of 500,000 like Tassie.
Yeah.
And it was awesome, you know. Sri Lanka's a bit like India because it's off the side of, but it's a Buddhist country.
Okay.
And I did heaps of travelling as a young guy, backpacking and stuff. And,
Yep.
and any Buddhist country, as a rule, has got a much better feel to it.
Okay.
Because Buddhists are big on karma.
Yep.
You know, they don't want to hurt the ants because they might come back as one.
Fair enough.
It's very much a sort of a do unto others that you have do unto you sort of thing.
Yep.
They are lovely. If you compare the same people in an Islamic country,
Right.
like, say, Egypt or
Yeah.
any of the Middle East places,
Yeah.
and it's painful, you know?
Oh,
like
yeah.
They don't like women. They like them to be covered up. You only see men in the streets.
Yeah.
They'll look at your wife like, you know, she's just sex on wheels, just waiting to come.
Yeah.
And hang on, I better rephrase, you know what I mean.
I knew it.
So, you know, there's something really nice about Buddhist countries. Always thought that, always believe it.
Yeah.
It's true. We went there. And then that was like an intro for me. I knew what Natters did. Never Mind Adventures. I've known about the company for a long time, known him for a long time, obviously.
Yeah.
And I went on one as a trial, liked it, and now I'm working with them. And I did Patagonia a couple of months after that.
Yes.
That was out of this world, man. So
Yeah.
now that was a Nevermind trip. Like, you know, most people wouldn't even know where Patagonia is.
No, I've only ever heard of it from that Alone series.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, first of all, it's not even a place. It's the pork chop bed on the bottom of South America, and half of it's Chile and half of it's Argentina.
Yeah, right.
And you cross the border, and each time you do, you cop all the crossing stuff, you know,
Yeah.
because they don't like each other, the Argentinians and the Chileans. But it's an amazing place. It's the first time I've ever ridden up the edge of a glacier.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And it was cold, man. You put a river's worth of block of ice in the room, it's cold.
Yeah.
We'd ride 300-400 k's a day, not see anyone on dirt roads out the back of nowhere. And then you get to these little villages that are sort of like tiny little Mexican Pablo type places. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the people are
Handful of
lovely.
people.
Yeah, it's like the rest of the world. If you've got a heap of people in a city, it'll be full of assholes trying to snatch something off you.
Yeah.
If you go right out in the country where people are really poor, they're just happy. They're just
Yes.
happy to see you, you know? So that was amazing. We rode Enfields again, but they were Scrams, which is a modern 350 sort of thing.
Yeah.
Bit like the Himalayan. And it was plenty of bike, you know?
Yeah.
You do 300 k's on rolling rock, you know, roads
Yeah.
with pebbles and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
That's enough, you know? But we stayed in outrageous places. We stayed in a vineyard one night.
Oh, wow.
You know, it was just awesome. I drank beer. You'll be pleased to know. I'm not going near wine. I've seen what it does to men. I won't go there. And, yeah, basically, they're just awesome trips. I just come back from Ireland.
Yes.
Took the wife over there.
Yeah.
And we rode bikes all around Ireland. And this time we had 650, so it was awesome, you know. Really well organised. Every country's different, well, obviously, but in terms of what you expect. So in Sri Lanka, they covered the accommodation and the meals. You paid a set price, got you the bike, the fuel, a backup bike if yours went wrong, a truck following, all the guiding, all the accommodation, most of the meals. You bought your own beer.
Yeah.
You get to Ireland where the cost of living's, you know, probably 10 times more.
Yeah.
And we got our accommodation, we got our bikes, our fuel, all the basic stuff, but you pay for your meals and your grog because if you didn't, you'd add another, you know, who knows how many hundreds of thousands to it. But
Absolutely.
just a good way to see the world, man.
What's the sort of typical like trip? Are they like a week, 2 weeks?
2 weeks normally,
Okay,
10 days, 2 weeks,
Yeah.
which is enough, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Especially for people that are wanting the experience but haven't ridden a heap.
And if you,
you know.
yeah, exactly. And if you want to, you know, well, like we did last time, Karen's from Wales.
Yeah.
So we went over a couple of weeks early, stayed around Wales and the UK and whatnot, and
Yeah.
and then joined up with the ride, you know. So,
When was that you were over there?
gee, what is it now? It wasn't that long ago, June.
This year.
Yeah, this year. Yeah.
What's it like over there?
June, July, well, summer.
The news would have you believe that all hell's broken loose over there, but then you see things pop up where you go, well, actually I saw that and it really wasn't that bad.
Okay, very cool. Good question. First of all, in my opinion, you've got to go to the same street as the news camera to get the same feeling.
Right.
Now, I got this back in the 80s when I was travelling in Ireland. You wouldn't remember, but it used to be on the telly every night, Ireland.
Okay.
Because there was a revolution going on. And so the IRA was blowing up the British soldiers, and there were British soldiers everywhere in the Northern Republic of Ireland,
Okay.
All the borders were patrolled. You'd see it on the TV and there'd be cops showing up with water cannons and, buildings blowing up, and you'd think, wow, it's just shit fight over there. You get over there, it's all happening in one street. Literally, in Belfast, it was happening in Falls Road and a couple of other little districts, And the rest of Ireland is going, well, I'll just kick back and have a Guinness,
Yeah, right.
It's a handful of idiots, not necessarily idiots, Right. How do you call soldiers idiots? They just signed up, and the people who were fighting for it, they had a just cause.
Yeah.
They've had British bloody, what would you call it, British colony forever.
Yeah.
And the Poms really had Ireland under the thumb. They had, you couldn't vote unless you had property. You couldn't own property unless you met various other criteria, which basically tended to keep all the property in the hands of the non-Catholics. The English, in other words.
Yeah.
And the English have been having estates in Ireland for 300 or 400 years.
Yeah.
So they are the money of the country.
Yeah.
So I go over there then, and I hitchhiked all over Ireland. I had a wonderful time, met beautiful people, I think I was there for a couple of months in that first trip. And then I thought, I want to see this Troubles. No one talked about it, the rest of Ireland, but it's on our TV in Australia every bloody night.
Yeah.
So I want to see this. So I go to Belfast. That's when I see the checkpoints. That's when I see the soldiers. That's when I see the burnt out cars and the shit and everything else.
Yeah.
This time, go back, there's none of that going on at all.
Right.
They're right over it. Well, they're not right over it. They've got long memories, the Irish. But what's winning is the fact that the Catholics breed a lot faster than the Protestants. So the Republic of Ireland, which used to be 94% Anglican, it's that little corner up the top right, is now 54% Catholic.
Really?
Yeah, and that's taken about 45 years.
Okay.
Okay, now the difference is that sooner or later they're going to vote themselves. They'll vote themselves in completely.
Yeah.
They'll have a big say. They'll never need to go back to that shit. Yeah. However, there was one interesting thing there, and we always stay away from politics. That's the rule, right? Everywhere,
I don't care.
everywhere up Falls Road
Yeah.
is Palestinian support Palestine paintings, big wall paintings. Like I haven't seen that anywhere except in Palestine.
Yeah.
And it's because the Irish know what it's like to be dominated by another country.
Yeah.
Full on. So in this conflict, they don't have any sides at all. As far as they're concerned, there's genocide going on. The Palestinians are being kicked out of their own land.
Yeah.
Therefore, they're on their side.
Right.
Which is kind of weird. I mean, you can't have an opinion on that unless you're there, can you?
That's the hard part, because it's like it depends on where you get your information from. And it's like there's been a lot of stuff on YouTube and that lately where, these guys out on the street are going and asking people questions that are part of a march, and for whatever reason they're just opening up people's eyes to the fact that they're out there and they really don't know what they're marching for. Yeah. They'll ask them relatively basic questions and they can't answer it. They're just, there's this mob mentality, like this, and I get it from a certain point of view. There are personalities out there that are easily led. I'm more of a, like that Brisbane march the what was the march that just happened?
Yeah,
whatever that was.
Yeah, it happened everywhere in Australia. Didn't it?
Yeah.
What did they call that? It was March for. Anyway, it wound up copping the Nazi label, didn't it? Because a handful of bloody idiots got involved.
That's what I mean. I had a conversation with a couple of people going like, are you going to go out to this? And I'm like, look,
Yeah, me too.
This is the hard part, because it's like the first conversation I had with it was people were saying, we're not anti-immigration, we're just saying woo up a little.
Yes.
And I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah, me
But
too.
then there was other people going, no, if you go, it means you're anti-immigration, period. And I'm like, well, okay, well, so what is it? Well, and then I was like, okay, there's too many different ideas of what it is. I'm staying the fuck away from it.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, but then that's why these sorts of conversations are good, because you can have the conversation and you can talk to people and go, because, like, you know, obviously we had Pauline on earlier in the year. She's a big advocate for it. But again, like, there's people in the comments on her thing calling her, you know, a racist and she hates everybody and this and that. And it's like, she just wants people to get off their ass and have a crack. She didn't care where you're from.
Exactly.
You know, and it's like, I don't care if people come over here. Like, so there was something on TikTok the other night, a bloke talking about it, and he's like, people calling, you know, the Indians coming over here, people calling them criminals, and he's like, you know, there's never been a criminal mastermind that was an Indian in the history of whatever. And I just, because I'm a cheeky shit, I was like, well, you know, does the fucking price of buttered chicken these days count? Other than that, he's right, you know, but people come over here and they have a crack, like, whether, you know.
You mentioned TikTok, right?
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if it's social media, but that's about when things changed. That's what Trump is, you know. Everything now is you got to be on this side or that side. There's no middle ground.
Yeah.
So if, like me, I believe 200,000 people coming into Australia every month is too many. I've got kids who can't afford to buy houses because they're so expensive. Yeah. I remember, because I'm very old, when most Australians, you know, if they had a job somewhere, they probably had a cottage down at the beach as well.
Yeah.
You know, because there was 15 million people here. We still managed to build our own cars, but there was 15 million people here. That meant that there was dirt roads to places like Byron Bay, and you could camp on the beach, and, you know, everyone had a mower that didn't have a catcher, and everyone had a hills hoist, and it was pretty basic. Yeah. No toys, but we had space and we had lifestyle, and it was probably a lot healthier, to be honest.
Absolutely.
And now they're telling us constantly, oh, if we don't grow, we got no money. Now, I appreciate the fact that we need people to staff the special homes. I've got a brother who's in a special home. We need people to staff the old people's homes because Aussies are too bloody lazy to do it and don't want to. Yep. You know, whatever reason. Yeah. Yes, we probably need people in the... Do we need 200,000? Do we need them all to come from an exceptionally rich country just north of us? And I know because I live in Wynnum, I'm watching all the places around Wynnum getting bought up. You know? And it's not the people who are going to be working in the old people's homes. Yeah. They're probably the Indians who are coming in and whatnot. That's great. Yeah. But a lot of the people who are coming in, they're just commercial migrants. They're coming in because they can get a better lifestyle here away from a communist party or something, you know. 200,000 a month. How can we deal with that? So I'm on Pauline's side there, but I can't say that except to you and everybody else. Because people go straight away, oh, you're a racist. No, I'm not. Yeah. You know, I've got mates all over the place of all different colours and creeds. Yeah. It's no difference whatsoever. You can be a big drongo and be an Aussie.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of us. You know?
Absolutely.
It's not a problem. It's because everything's polarised. That's what keeps Trump in. It's what's changed the world. You know, it's changed the whole world, even to the point where, you know, the bike shop I dropped into on my way here, the discussion was all about Albo and how bad he is and this, that and the other. And there was no, oh, yeah, but he's doing his best or you know, so I don't agree with him on an apology, but I agree with him on this or whatever, you know. Yeah. There's no room for it. So, anyway, except here, which is good.
Yeah, look, the Americans have got it. You hear them, they say it, like blue no matter who and red till I'm dead, you know, like they...
Oh, yeah.
Same, you know, whole culture of tribal mentality and all that sort of stuff. But I think it was Jim. We had Jim Wilmot on, and it might have even been Pauline who asked the question as well. Like, one of the biggest problems is like when they're in Parliament, and it's like if you're Labor and you hear something good that's come out of the Liberal idea of whatever they're planning on doing, even if you go, fuck, that's a good idea, you can't back it.
No.
And it's like, that just makes no sense. If you guys are there for the betterment of Australia, which is the thing that I think a lot of people have forgotten, is it's like the government, we've elected them to be our voice to help us. Instead of 100 million people or whatever yelling, it's like, here's a few to talk on their behalf.
Yeah, we're not the problem, though.
No.
They're the problem, because once they're in, they've decided their sole aim is to get re-elected.
Yes.
That's where the problems lie.
Yeah.
And that's where, actually, have you heard that podcast, The Rest is Politics?
No.
I'll write it down for you later.
Yeah.
It's BBC. It's Alistair Campbell, who was Tony Blair's left-hand man.
Right.
He's as left as they come. He's a real Labor guy.
Yeah.
And a guy called Rory Stewart, who's sort of a British MP, peer, House of Lords, went to Oxford, all that kind of stuff.
Right.
Also fought in Afghanistan as a foot soldier, so
Okay.
pretty normal guy in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Two opposite sides of the pole, and all they're doing is getting together. That's it. The rest is politics.
Yeah,
they
right.
get together and they try and find the middle ground.
Yes, there you go.
That's what's missing,
We
I hope they start a trend.
Yeah, look, we said that last week. We were talking about this. It was, it's like when it's a group against a group. Like war's inevitable, but two people in a conversation can move a mountain.
Can work it out. Yeah, exactly.
I totally agree. I think the drama with it is that there's still, like you said, with what we were watching back in the day about what was going on versus what was actually going on. There's still so much shit staring going on in the media.
Oh,
and I mean it does. Look,
media takes sides.
For sure.
It's ridiculous. They never used to. There used to be a all's fair in love and war.
Journalistic integrity.
A little bit, There was always, I'm a journalist. There was always a little bit of integrity.
Yeah, you and the bush writing fucking stories for Playboy or whatever it was.
Yeah, I never got a free sex doll or anything. It's not right. Doesn't make sense. But there used to be a sort of it's got to be right and then we'll print it mentality.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't matter.
It's just who gets it out first.
Yeah,
clickbait, whatever.
Fox on that side, CNC on the other.
Yeah.
Really pleased with Murdoch the other day when he decided to not put up with Trump, to not bowl over, because he's the first one who didn't. Everybody else did.
Well, when you got, like the Murdoch family's wealth is probably, it's up there. It's fucking up there, whatever it is. Yeah. Like the Packer said it back here years ago talking about the taxes. When he was getting questioned on minimising his tax. And I think he said something very publicly to the effect of, anybody that doesn't minimise their tax in Australia needs their head read, because you aren't doing a great job with what we're giving you. Why would we donate more? Fucking brilliant.
He nailed it, as usual.
Yeah, it's one of those personalities that command attention in those sorts of scenarios. But
Oh, mate, I met him.
Did you?
Oh, yeah, a couple of times. I worked for ACP for a while.
Okay.
Had a lot of mates who worked for Packer.
Yeah.
And one of my girlfriends at one stage, back in the pre-wedding days, was his assistant PA.
Right.
And the first day she showed up from work, she's from Queensland,
Yeah.
First day she showed up for work down in the office at Milson's Point or somewhere, I don't know, somewhere down in Sydney.
Right.
She's got out of a car, she's been told park under the building, get in the elevator, go to this floor. She gets in the elevator, this big fella runs in after her, smoking a cigarette. And she said, "Excuse me, this is an elevator, do you mind not smoking?" And he just turned around and said, "I own the fucking elevator, dearie." And the next thing she knows, she's getting off at the same floor as him. Going, oh, fuck.
What a fucking first introduction.
He was fair to her. I've seen him throw other people out of his office. He's a big physical bloke.
He's not a little fella. He'd be, what, 6'4", 6'5"?
Oh, yeah, 6'3", probably, yeah.
Okay,
I don't know, but...
Yeah, big
very,
boy.
Very charitable man, He used to give away 2 or 3 pairs of shoes a year if he didn't get around to wearing them. Anyway, don't worry about him.
Oh.
Move on.
Moving on. Well, we've just had Father's Day.
Yeah.
What's Father's Day like? I get the feeling that you're kind of like me. You're probably pretty hard to buy for.
Well, my kids buy me booze.
Well, then, yeah. Okay, that's fair.
And I've got to say, the older they get, the better they're getting at it. You know?
Okay.
I don't have, you're right. I have everything I want.
Yeah.
I don't need anything. There were times when I used to give them a gift list,
Right?
you know, like if I needed a new set of pliers or,
Yeah.
you know, something, but I don't even bother. And it's just nice to see them.
Very true.
We have a Father's Day. My wife organises it. This year, there's jazz in Wynnum on the waterfront, so we walk down there, watch a bit of jazz, have a couple of drinks, go home, cook a big barbecue, have a few more drinks, and that's it. And that's, mate, for me, I don't care. Bed at 8 o'clock, I'm just fine, you know.
No, I'm getting to that point myself. But no, it's, my lady says that to me as well. Like, she's like, you're impossible to buy for.
Yeah.
It's like, well, like, if I want something, I'll go and get it.
Exactly. So what's left?
That's
You
right.
know, socks and undies. I mean, that's what I get for Christmas.
I never understood that growing up, but it's like the older I'm getting, the more I'm like, yeah, I really could use
Some new socks.
Yeah, that's right. Oh dear.
I get it. Yeah. So what'd you do Father's Day?
I just went and picked my babies up. I got to stop saying that. The Blake's nearly 14 and Miranda's nearly 11. I mean, they're still my babies, but he's probably, what am I? I'm 6 foot. He'd be 5'7" at 13. But it's like, I mean, I haven't grown. My 16 and a half when I got my learners, I was 181. I'm still 181.
Yeah.
So I haven't grown since then. So, you know, but he's getting tall, and it's good to hang out with him, and it still catches me off guard every now and then when he picks up the phone because his voice has started to drop.
Oh,
Picks up who the fuck's this? But no, we went out and just chilled out for a bit. Like they're always busy, and my daughter Miranda's right into all of her dance stuff. She's always doing competition, and you know, she does like all the different types of dance for one dance company, and little bugger's got more Instagram followers than me. But no, we just get to hang out when it's rare to get them both together though. So which has been the challenging part, and I was going to ask you that as well. It's like your old job was away a lot, and it's like I'm finding that a bit of a challenge with the business side of things, is going like when do you say, all right, enough's enough, I need to spend some time at home, you know what I mean? Like, because it's like I feel like sometimes I get those, I should stop, but I'm like, fuck, am I going to take the foot off the pedal if I have a week off? We said this last time, I haven't been away to anywhere since Cancun in early 22. I still haven't been away. I still haven't had any time off. I don't know. It's like a fear of if I stop.
The wheel will stop turning.
Yeah, or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't really have an answer for you. I was 6 months away, 6 months at home, most of the time.
Right.
Most of my life's been like that.
Yeah.
When Karen met me, I was still riding bikes all over the country with my mates, and I was a tour guide and everything else. In fact, we went out to dinner. I asked her out to dinner, and that was like probably our first date, I think. And then the next day, I went to Darwin with the boys for 4 weeks. And as far as I'm concerned, I mean, I suppose I was already set in my ways because I would have been 36 or 7 when I met her. But as far as I'm concerned, you have to have breaks, you know. If you don't, and it's very easy not to because there's always something more important to do.
Yeah.
But if you don't, you're going to burn out. You're going to get the shits with it sooner or later, and that's it. You won't want to do it. In my case, I'd organise my life as the kids came along. You know, I'd never done this. I'd get a school holiday program.
Yeah.
And I'd say to them that I'd block out all the days I had to be at home.
Yeah.
You know, which might be the kids' birthdays and the school holidays or something, you know.
Yeah.
And I'd give that to my producers.
Yeah.
And I'd say, I can't go away those days. And they'd have to, you know, structure stuff around that.
Yeah.
So that was fair enough. It worked.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes it meant instead of being away for 2 weeks, home and then away for 2 weeks, I'd be away for 6 weeks. But the thing was, when I was at home, I still had heaps of work to do, you know, writing and all the rest of that.
Yeah.
Fixing the truck, there was always lots of that to do, as I'm sure you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, there was heaps to do, but I would schedule the whole lot around. I'd take the kids to school.
Yeah.
And I'd pick the kids up from school and I'd spend a bit of time doing homework with them.
Yeah.
My wife, I've said to her more than once, you know, like, I wish I'd been at home more for the kids. And she says, listen, I've looked around, you know, as far as fathers go, you probably spend as much time or more time with your kids than a lot of them, you know.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, you got to find ways to deal with it, but you do have to have breaks. And I'm saying this from experience because I know what happens with me.
Yeah.
I've burnt out in a few jobs before I got into the four-wheel drive stuff.
Yeah.
At one stage I was running two wheels and Live to Ride and a big section of the publishing company, Federal Publishing. And my job became dealing with staff. That's why the joke about the staff before, because all of a sudden, instead of being the guy that's riding bikes, writing stories about them,
you're managing everybody.
I'm managing everybody.
Yeah. I
What
get
a
it.
painful existence.
Yeah.
You know, you go to work every day, you don't know what you're doing except there's going to be an emergency.
Yeah.
Dorothy in Dispatch has swallowed a pencil sharpener. You just don't know. You know what I mean? There's some crap going on somewhere to do with someone. The worst I ever had was Judy, the artist, sat on a razor blade. You know? Well, now, why would that cause any problems? Because the person, it was, what do you call it, a scalpel. That they used to use them in art departments in the old days.
Right.
Because they had to cut things out physically. We didn't have computers.
Right.
So somehow she managed to sit on this bloody thing. The girl next to her pulled it out. Blood came out. She fainted. Another girl's watching. She fainted. And the bloke who's supposed to be managing the whole show, not me, the other in the department, he's walked over there. He's had a look at all these girls screaming, said the wrong thing, caused an instant uproar. The whole place shuts. And like, I've come to work. I've got to sort this shit out.
Yeah.
Like, give me that scalpel, I'll fix it real quick. But so that was that job. I was getting paid heaps. A company car, company credit card, a single bloke in a publishing company, which means if you hit a certain level, they give you a gold card so you can take clients out who are going to spend ad money.
Oh, right.
You know, so you go anywhere you want, and I mean anywhere, you know. And as long as they sign the Pepsi Cola, you know, $200,000 a year to you, you can spend as much as you want on them, you know.
Right.
So that was a lot of my job. You'd think that'd have good sides to it. And one day I just cracked. I got to work and I went, fuck, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
I went outside, I got on my motorbike and I pissed off, visited a girl I knew in Lismore 700 k's away.
Right.
Spent a few days with her, rang up and said, I'm not coming back.
Right.
You know, end of job.
Wow.
Yeah, just like that. Because I should have taken a few holidays. So should you. Yeah. And you know, get your kids and go somewhere. Like, make a thing of it, you know, like quality holidays, man. I mean, I shouldn't say that, should I? I'm still doing it.
No, look, the thing for me with it was like I can sort of picture that, like when you're working and you're away and you're doing what you're doing, but when you're home, the cogs continue to tick.
Well, you got to keep working, but
but it's like, and that's my hard part is and that's one of the reasons I was like, I'm not gonna do any kind of shed setup at home. Because if I get home and there's something there,
you'll do it.
I'll do it. Because I can't sit still. And it's like, as much as every now and then I'll deep dive into a TV show or something. I wasn't expecting to enjoy it, but did you see that Breaking Bad? Did you ever watch that?
No, what's that?
Is it Bryan Cranston? I want to say. Yeah.
Breaking Bad. Is that the breakdancing thing? No.
No. Showing. No, it's actually
Breaking Bad.
He's a school teacher. Anyway, he gets into some financial troubles, and one of his ex-students is cooking meth or something on the side and rolling around with all his cash, and he ends up partnering up with this guy. And it's I'm not selling it well, but there it is. That dude.
Okay.
Bryan Cranston, yeah. I think there's like this.
What is it, a series? Oh, YouTube.
5 seasons. It's on everything, like Prime, Stan, whatever.
Okay.
But I was, because I did it with Sons of Anarchy too. I was like, I'm not fucking watching a motorbike show.
No.
And then, but I sat down one afternoon and it was on, and I'm like, oh, I'll give it a watch. And it was like the something episode into season 3, and I was like, fuck, now I got to start it, you know. and I deep dive into them, and I'll do that. I'll get home and I'll be like, whatever it is, and I'll binge. And it's like it's this nice reset because I'm thoroughly into something. And I did it with like The Last Kingdom, that old show about the knights and the. Every now and then something for whatever reason will grab me, and I'll deep dive into it. But for the most part, if it's just normal TV or whatever, I can't turn it off.
Do you read books?
No, I can't. I'm a whatever it is. I've said this a few times. If I was going through school these days, I'd have a whole heap of different words and things after my name. I can read a page, and I can get to the end of it and not really have any idea what I've read.
Okay.
Unless I'm really captured by it.
We call that drugs and booze. But anyway, yeah. Good to hear about Gleno too. Have you seen him lately?
I did. I stopped in, I was a couple months ago now. He's recovering.
Good.
You know, he's lucky. He's lucky to be breathing.
That's Glenn Haddon.
Yeah.
For anyone who doesn't know.
Yeah.
Rooth Systems and,
yeah.
geez, what else? He's been half a dozen things.
Well, he's
Rooth Tuning.
Yeah. I think they've just changed names
Again, yeah.
Yeah, because I think while he was in hospital, one of his guys poached a heap of staff or whatever and clients and went and opened his own thing in competition. And
yeah, I know who it was, and I know what happened, and it was pretty disgraceful, to be honest. They just assumed he was going to kick off, and he proved them wrong.
Absolutely.
Tough bastard. I mean, he did some damage, but
yeah. Have you seen him recently? Or?
No, I haven't. That's why I'm asking. I've spoken to him. Yeah, that's about it. But
he still sounds just as cheeky, but he's a shadow of what he was.
Yeah,
he lost a heap. He lost a heap of weight when he came down to do the episode because he just had the gastric band thing done.
Yeah.
So he'd already lost a heap, but then since the accident, he's lost a shitload. Very healthy now.
Well, he can't taste, so he can't drink beer.
Well,
mate, if you and I couldn't drink beer, you know, I'd float in here at 70 kilos. Maybe not.
Well, yeah, it is the one vice.
Yeah, well, there's a steak in every bottle.
That's what a burger in every beer.
Burger in every beer. I like it.
No, I got off the smokes. That was my thing.
Same.
Yeah, I had November this year. I'm 2 years without a smoke.
Oh, okay. Well, I got off the smokes. Nearly 20 years ago.
Wow.
But that's when I put on weight.
Yep.
And in fact, I had a doctor tell me, a doctor who smoked, who said, I'm not giving them up because I'll die of fat around the heart. And I thought, well, that's just the worst excuse I've ever heard. but in my case, it's because I knew I had emphysema coming on because I used to work in the mines and even then I could feel it. You can hear it in my voice now, you know, but it was as soon as I stopped smoking, you know, and I was one of those smokers who doesn't smoke much in the morning or anything, and, you know, I couldn't not have a beer without a cigarette though.
No, that was my hard part.
Yeah.
I was a couple of packs of 25s a day though.
Oh, were you?
Oh, I would get a coffee on the way to work, and in a 20-minute drive, I'll kill 4 smokes.
Yeah, well, see, that's $100 these days, isn't it?
That's what I was going to say. You quit before it got expensive.
Yeah, I know. It's truth. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, no, but that I was on a good wicket getting my weight down. I got down to about 104 kilos for that Christmas. So Christmas almost 2 years ago. And since then, I've found it all. Everything I lost, I found.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. I mean, you know, my missus puts me on a cardboard diet constantly, you know. Wake up, I get 2 blueberries and a spoonful of yoghurt and a couple of little things that, I don't know, Don't know what they are out of a packet. But the problem is, I leave home and I walk straight past a pie shop to get to work.
Yes, yes.
At least I'm walking.
It's true.
But I'll tell you what, you don't want to start the day on a handful of yoghurt, It's...
No, I can't do it. The only one that I found that worked for me last time, which you've really got to commit to, was doing the carnivore one, was just basically steak and eggs.
And how'd you feel physically?
Amazing.
Really?
Amazing. I'm a big eater.
Yeah.
And that was, but even then, I was probably having a 350 to 450 steak and probably 5-6 eggs, all 3 meals.
Yeah, but you were losing weight.
Losing weight and felt great.
No carbs, so you weren't drinking?
Whiskey.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that was when I found the cigars.
Aha.
Yeah. So,
Right.
but I don't wake up in the morning after a cigar and feel like a cigar. Whereas if I have a cigarette,
Yes.
I'll go and buy a pack the next morning.
Gotcha.
So the cigars are a nice
Alternative.
Yeah, it's it's still money that you should that you're literally burning in smoke, but it's a lot, and I'm not you don't breathe them in, so it's I don't feel heavy chested. But yeah, when I was doing it was just steak and eggs.
Yeah.
Very, very rarely for that, probably 6 months. But I lost 25 kilos.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you felt all right.
Yeah. Oh, yes,
You didn't suffer from a lack of fibre.
No.
No?
No, I felt awesome. The only thing that screwed me was the quitting smoking. Was that appetite went spastic.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah. And then it was, I've had that, I'll make up for it next week. And then next week became a year and a half, or nearly 2 years later, and whatever.
Oh, I feel your pain.
It's more cushion for the pushing. My theory.
Yeah, good theory.
My theory. But now, so when are you heading off again? Are you working for them, like you partnered up with them, you're going over there a bit?
Yeah. It's a very loose partnership because we're good mates.
Yeah.
And, I don't want anything on paper and neither does he, so it's good. So
It's kind of like this. He just shows up.
Yeah.
Works for hugs and kisses.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, I want a bit more than that, but
Fair
not
call.
much. But I was going to go to Rajasthan this year.
Yeah.
But I've just cancelled that, mostly because the year's just getting away with me.
Yeah.
I'll kick off again next year and do a few. We're looking at doing some East European stuff.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting.
Okay.
Like the old Russian countries.
Yeah.
And Matt's already looked into a lot of the business side of this.
Yeah.
I know a little bit about what's going on over there, so that's going to be fascinating.
Yeah.
Vietnam's on the cards next year too.
Vietnam sounds awesome.
Yeah, Vietnam's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Best thing about a Nevermind trip is that it is a holiday.
Yeah.
If I go to Vietnam, which I've never been to Vietnam, I've been to Cambodia and Thailand and everything else. If I go there on my own or take the wife and I want to leave it loose and free, you play it all when you get there. So you you might have booked your first night's accommodation, but after that it's find the place that hires the bikes, find the place that's got the food, find somewhere to stay that night when you're 200 k's out of town.
Right.
And so you're working. A little bit of you is working every day. But you go on a Nevermind trip and you just follow the bloke in front of you.
Yeah.
If it's me, you're in trouble. I'm probably going to get you lost. But basically, you just get to the next place. You don't even have to worry about fueling the bike. We stop. We're all fueling up here because we need to or whatever, And that's just awesome. So, there'll be more Asia. I'd love to go back to South America again. I'd never been to South America until this Patagonia trip.
Yeah.
Amazing place. Do you know what I found there? Like, they don't give a shit about what's going on in the rest of the world.
Right.
You know how we wake up every day and we got news talking about Trump and this and that and the other?
Yeah.
First of all, they all speak Spanish. They don't give a shit about English. Some of them do, but they're not going to go out of their way for you. You know? They think you're American anyway, so they're really not going to go out of their way. And they just don't give a shit. Their whole world is in their country or the neighbouring country. And it's no surprise because they got everything. They got everything from, like we have, I suppose, but more of it, snow and deserts and, big cities and everything else. heaps of different countries with different modes of government and beaches and,
Yeah, right.
you know, let's not talk about Rio de Janeiro or any of those places. They got everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so they really don't look outside.
Yeah.
You know, we in Australia, you spend, when I was a kid, it was all about the British Empire.
Right.
You know, it was all lamb 3 days a week. Well, I was on a sheep farm, but
Yeah.
we used to, my first school when I was 11, we'd march to the drums and flying an Australian flag and a Union Jack.
Yeah, right.
And this is the 1960s, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that was Australia. You know, Prince Charles comes out here for a holiday, goes to school here for a while. We were that much a little English colony. Now we're a little American colony or something. I don't know what we are.
Yeah.
But we tend to, we don't have our, we think we're Aussies and we're strong and we're this, that and the other. We are.
Yeah.
But so many of us are leaning on something that's happening over there. Does that make sense?
No, I agree.
You know, like we don't have our own cars.
No.
Over in South America, they still got Volkswagens, combis. They're still building combis.
Yeah, right.
Radiators out the front with liquid-cooled four-cylinder motors.
Right.
And they
Well,
look,
at least they've come up, you know, to the standard of radiators.
well, only just. You know, they strap it on the front. You can see the pipes. There's nothing special about it. They could use you over there with some of your metal skills, I'll tell you.
Right.
They still build the Amazonas, which is a 1600cc four-cylinder motorbike, Volkswagen engine.
Right.
It's not a bloody bike. It's a car with two wheels missing.
Yeah, right.
They build the Bandero, the Toyota Bandero, which is a little Milo. It's a four-cylinder turbocharged diesel in a mid-wheel-based Toyota that looks like a 40 series.
Wow.
You know? They still build it. They got factories over there. They don't need the rest of the world. They they got everything. They just don't need it.
That makes sense.
We kind of need to be more like that, I reckon. But
That's a lot. The very compact little area, though. Like Australia's fucking enormous.
there you go. You're wrong.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I would have said that too. But that's not the feeling you get when you're there.
Okay.
And this is a problem, right? This is a problem in terms of our, the context with which you think about space.
Yeah.
You know, okay, so it's 1,000 k's from here to Sydney.
Yeah.
Takes you a day to drive it.
Yeah.
You know, it's, nearly 1,800 k's to Melbourne.
Something like that, yeah.
Takes you 2 days maybe,
Yeah.
you know, big country. But some of these little countries, and South America's not little, it's the way they draw it on the maps, it looks pretty small, but it's not. It's a big place. I think they draw it that way to make America, the United States, look bigger. Because the United States is a massive country when you go there, but it's not that big.
It's probably a white boy that drew it.
Oh, I think so, yeah. It's someone who drives a really big Ford F-350 or a Ram, you know. This is not your Volkswagen Golf sort of guy.
Right.
Bloody, it's... Okay, I think the best way to describe it, I always thought Tassie was small. I used to go down there testing bikes.
Yeah.
You know, it's 1,100 k's around the outside of Tassie.
Yep.
We'd do that in 2 days, you know, then we'd do a couple other roads and come home. And you get the idea, it's a small place, you know. Yeah. Then you go there four-wheel driving. You get lost on the West Coast for 6 days, don't see another car.
Yeah.
How big is this fucking place then?
Yeah, true.
You know?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Or in that black soil.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Getting bogged.
What is that?
Yeah, that's the Bandera. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, that must be a later one, actually. Yeah, but you get the idea, eh?
Yeah, right.
There's that's yeah. I think I've given you the wrong name, actually. Well, I know what I'm talking about.
Like we did 8-9 days down in Tassie. Stayed in. I think we went to. I can never remember the name of it. The main starts with H. The main city, the main area. Hobart. We started there, and then we went and did like a couple of the cabins, and went over to Brunny Island, and the missus went on that bloody jet boat thing that took her out around the bottom of Tasmania looking for seals and penguins and whatever else they were doing. You can fucking keep that. I stayed on land. But yeah, it was a beautiful spot down there. It's just, I think it's my understanding of space is like, because you hear people say like America, for example, in the space that we have our two cities, Sydney and Brisbane, they'd have 2 or 3 more jammed in there.
Oh, lots more.
Yeah.
Lots more. But, 360 million people or something.
Really?
And we got 25. That'd be roughly right. We probably need to Google that, but
I think that's the thing that throws me.
But you got to see it too. Really, what you need is like a mental Google Maps in terrain form, because when you go to the States, the first thing you notice is the Mississippi River is about as wide as Brisbane. The Brisbane River looks like a creek.
Right.
The Mississippi is like, kadunk, 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 kadunk. To get across it takes forever on a bridge.
Wow.
Everything is bigger because there's more water. So that means there's more arable farmland, which means, you get into massive places in Australia, like the Kimberleys, you know.
Yeah.
There's no people because there's no water, because there's nothing going on really.
Yeah.
Can't support too many. So what's that show? Oh, yeah, the United States.
Oh, is that?
Oh, that's Australia overlaid. Look at that. Australia population 24.6, USA, only 330 million.
No, that's a few years ago. That's
2019.
Okay.
That's what fucks me off with. Now I won't.
It'll be less now because Trump's deporting them all. But anyway.
Yeah, was it who was that bird that left? Was it Rosie O'Donnell or someone left?
Oh yeah.
If he wins, I'm going. And he's like, bye. But they were showing one of the news things had the wages in Australian dollars, and if you take what Trump's on and convert it to Australian dollars, dollar for dollar, Albo's on more than Trump.
Albo's on about 600 grand and Trump's on about 400. I saw that, which just shows how polluted our politicians are, really. But you know what? In a way, he probably deserves that, regardless of anything else, because in Australia you can't be the Prime Minister. You're not going to last if you're making money for yourself at the same time. We wouldn't really allow that, which means that at least Albo spends most of his time concentrating on his job, or he should do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you get corruption in politics if you don't pay them very much. And I'm not saying they're corrupt in the States, but...
Well, Nancy Pelosi's right up there.
Well, yeah, there you go. And how much has Trump made since he's been in? Because I heard it was like 3.9 billion or something ridiculous.
It's hard though because he's running that place like a business.
Yes.
Whereas Nancy Pelosi came in as a career politician on 200 grand a year, and now she's worth like 200 million.
Yeah, that's right.
You're like, wow, come on.
Yeah.
That's a fair crack of the whip.
Okay, so you got Bob Hawke, who could barely afford a beer.
True.
Who lived in a $300,000 house.
Yeah.
Did his job.
Yeah.
Popped out the other end. Within a couple of years, he had houses all over the place, a new wife, and all sorts of shit going on now.
Yeah, he did too, didn't he?
Our Aussie politicians are pretty good at it too.
Yeah, true.
I
think that's the hard part with the dollars, though, is because it's like my old man, our family home in 86, they bought in Harold Street down at Stafford. He bought that for 36 grand.
Yeah.
2-story house, like 900-ish square block, 36 grand. It was something to the effect of it worked out to be the average house back in the 80s was about 3 years' wages.
Yeah.
And it's like the average house now is 15 years' wages for, the average income.
If you're lucky.
Like that house, I actually drove past not that long ago, and my old man built me this little cubby house down the back corner of the block, and he put a door on it, had louvers in it and all the shit back in the day. He was a handy bugger. And he put, you remember back in the day, you probably still get them, but they were like fake license plates and they had your kid's name in them or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And he had Benjamin on the front door. And I pulled up out the front, and one of the young fellas was, like I say young fella, he was a teenager, And I was just sort of looking at the house, and it didn't look like it had changed much. And I was like, just sort of minding my own business, didn't get out of the car or anything. And the young guy's going, "Oh, you're right." And I was like, "Oh, just having a look." I said, I grew up here. And he said, "Oh, I'll go and get my dad." And I'm like, "Oh, fuck, here we go." But no, all right, go on. Why not? And Dad comes out, and we're having a bit of a chat. And I said, "Oh, it's my old cubby house down the back. Is it still there?" And he goes, "Yeah." He goes, "Is that yours?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Is your name Ben?" And I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "We moved in here and my wife got pregnant, and we named our son Benjamin from that cubby house."
With a cubby house.
Yeah. And I was like, "Fuck, how's that?" But yeah, no, it's still there. But I mean, like that's a $1 million house now, and it hasn't changed that much. The block didn't get any bloody bigger. But
That's what you get. What'd your old man do?
He was a dairy farmer's son in Lismore.
Okay.
And got out of that pretty much as soon as he could.
Yeah.
And got into the banks and then finance, and then did some weird sidestep into furniture making down behind Stafford City.
So
in
he was
Haywood
good with
Street.
his hands.
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah, he's all a lot of my stuff I got from him.
Yeah.
Like whether it's woodworking or welding or
Yeah.
whatever. And yeah, he was just a jack of all trades.
Excellent.
Used to make his own go-kart trailers for go out racing go-karts, and he's interesting bugger.
Yeah.
But he never lost the farm boy.
No.
It was he was a. I got a lot of good lessons out of him.
Yes, I'll bet.
Some of them were
Not so good.
maybe what not to do, but he was all right. He was a product of his time.
Yeah.
But we lost him a few years ago. Just in his couch watching his TV, just went to sleep. Yeah.
Far out. How old was he, Ben?
He's a 50s baby, so 70.
Only in his 70s.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, but he had some strokes and stuff like that. But he couldn't even sort of go down the normal track of being sick, because he'd have a stroke and he couldn't talk. He was completely gone, and a week later it was like nothing happened. His voice came back, all the opinions came back, and I was like, nothing happened. He couldn't stop him. And then I think it was one of them. I think it was just one of them was a bit big, and he just in his chair, just went out watching TV, still had his dinner in his lap.
Jeez.
So just gone. But I mean, that got morbid quick.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's I'm still trying to work out how the fuck we got onto Harvey Bay. But anyway,
Actually, that's Harvey Bay's made a big re-entry into my life lately because my daughter's moved up there.
okay,
Yeah, and they moved up there, her and her husband, because they couldn't afford a house in Brisbane. And this is the too many people thing. We've got a full circle here.
yeah,
But they did really well for young people. They had a real good deposit and everything else. They were sort of in the sub 800 grand
yeah,
bracket, So down here in Brisbane, that gets you an asbestos place in a reasonable suburb or a reasonably new place a long way out of town or something.
Legoland,
Yeah. Up in that district, Harvey Bay, out in the country, 3 acres, 4-bedroom house, 2 bathrooms, big shed,
yeah,
set up for life.
Yeah.
Great place to bring up kids. And that's what's wrong. But you talk about 36 grand. I probably told you this story last time. First time I came to Queensland was following a girl whose dad had moved up from Lismore. His name was Reg Cray, so we'll just make sure we're not talking about the same guy here. I wasn't chasing one of your sisters or something.
No.
Okay, so that was in the 70s. And I came up here and I really got along well with Reg, fitted right into the family. He was only 17.
Yeah.
And he gave me a job. He was doing ash carting ash from the power station in those days.
Right.
He had a contract, making good money, introduced me to the Queensland way of life,
Yeah.
Get home early enough to drink beer all afternoon. It was great.
Absolutely.
And he said, listen, down here on the waterfront in Wynnum, there's all these cheap houses. They're all fishing cottages. He said, one day that's going to go ahead.
Yeah.
He said, you and his daughter, we should buy a house down there, settle down there.
Right.
I said, I only got a couple of grand. you know. He said, oh, that'll get you a deposit. So I go and have a look. Sure enough, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 grand buy a house. And 2 grand was a good deposit.
Wow.
Yeah, so I bought a new Norton and left town. So, yeah, if you're listening, the D-Girl, it wasn't your fault. It was a really good bike. Anyway, still got it. I've still got the bike.
Well, there you go. That's something.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we got shit when we moved up there. We were in an ex Dixon display home on half an acre, paying $400 a week. It had 2 separate living areas.
Yeah.
It was nuts. Bit like a 9 by 11 meter shed. We were in that for a couple of years, but then we ended up out at Burrum.
Oh, yeah.
It made it a bit more of a drive to get into Pialba, but that was a beautiful place out there. It was nothing special, but it was just the water was right around the corner. The pub lunch was still like a burger and a beer for like $12.
Yeah,
it was like it was nice. I think me being in business and having my business, my Brisbane head, did pretty well up there, but we were ready to leave. 6 years we were up there from 2010 till 2016. But then came back down here and bloody got divorced and had 5 different jobs in a year and went, fuck it, I'll do it again.
I'll do it again.
Yeah, why not?
Start my own business. Here we go.
Glutton for punishment.
Yeah, I get it. What was your trade? Did you have a trade?
No, I got no paper.
Yeah.
No, everything's
So what was your first gig on your own? Window tinting?
window tinting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I started. I love this story. I was 17 and I had an XE Falcon sedan.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a job. And Dave down at Tint Mart at Stafford, which is long gone now, I went in there and I was like, how much to get some window tint? Because it was like a fucking fishbowl. Like, it was no tent, all glass. And I think he wanted $600 or something for it, whatever it was. It's like, crikey. All right. Well, I said, look, I tell you what, I don't have $600, but I'll work for you for a week for free, and I'll tint it at the end of the week.
Yeah.
And he was like, you won't be able to tint it at the end of the week. I'm like, well, it's no risk to you. I'll do the week first. I'm not saying, whatever. I'll do the week. And then, did the week. And at the end of the week, I tinted it. Not to a standard I would have accepted, 6 months later, but I got it done.
Yeah.
And he was just like, well, fuck, do you want a job? That's how I got into window tinting. And that's been the foundation for everything. That's when I started the Harvey Bay shop was in tinting. And then just added the standard, electric rust proofing and paint protection, like all the new car stuff. It's exactly the same thing I did down here. I rented a bay off a mate and just went, I'll go and buy some tinting tools because you can set up, I think I had $2,000.
Yeah.
Sold the car that I had after split with the kid's mum and rented a bay off a mate in his shed. And just, I think the 6-month mark, I took over half his shed. 12-month mark, got my own shed. And it's just gone from there.
Yeah.
But it's, I couldn't think of anything worse than window tinting now, though. I'm like, that's one of those ones where I got to my breaking point and had to keep going and push through. And it's like, when I got to a point where I was like, I'm never tinting again, I took all my tools, I took all the tint, I took everything and just got rid of it. Like, never again.
See, you could have taken a couple of holidays along the way. You wouldn't have chucked your toys out of the pram.
Yeah.
It makes you view life differently.
Yeah, it does.
Holidays.
It does.
Yeah.
Well, you've seemed like you've got a pretty good gig coming up now, so that's cool.
Yeah, it is. It's excellent. I'd like to knock it,
Yeah.
Just like I'd like to say, hey, listen, you saw me tooling around in that green truck for years. It was no fun, mate. It was all work.
Yeah.
I was slugging it out just for people like you.
Yeah.
That's all bullshit.
I was going to say, I call bullshit.
Truth is, I loved every minute of it.
Yeah.
There was every now and then you wouldn't mind burying some of the sponsors, You get that?
Yeah.
But that's what happens when money comes into a relationship. I'm not talking about your sponsors. I'm just checking. No, there's none of them up there.
No.
None of the ones I want to bury.
No, very good. No, everybody that's up there, I basically know either the owner or the big boss.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm a stickler for it. Like Brad Brad's that owned MAXTRAX.
Oh,
his,
yeah.
His 1943 Jeep Willys that I did a body off resto on.
Oh, you did that?
Yeah.
Yeah, right, eh? Is that after he went up the Cape or before?
That was in 2018.
Right. Yeah, okay, so that's after. It would have needed one by then.
Oh, that was, that was everything. I mean, I think we had a couple of little hiccups with some of the mechanical bits and the steering, which were a little bit out of my realm of knowledge, but it come up good. But he was the one that gave me the first proper crack.
Yeah,
They dropped that 6-wheeler thing off.
Oh, yeah, the big Toyota.
Yeah, and we did a heap of Raptor work on the back of that, and he loved it, and he was like, well, what could you do with this?
I know Brad pretty well too, and there's a guy who knows value for money.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's not frightened to spend a quid.
No.
But he's not like some of these guys who get that wealthy that they just throw it around.
No.
He never would. He's good. He's a good bloke to travel with. And probably from my point of view, I used to tell the difference between sponsors was some of them were just pure businessmen. Right. They're in the four-wheel drive game because they could make a quid out of it. Yep. It's booming all over the place. I'm making a quid out of this, and that's all right. And then you get the other people who came into the business because they're enthusiasts.
Yes.
Like Brad.
Yeah.
Brad was already writing the go-to book for Fraser and all sorts of other stuff before he even came up with MAXTRAX.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have come up with it if he hadn't been a dedicated four-wheel driver, a real traveller.
Yeah.
And his MAXTRAX have rescued a couple of trucks on trips I've been on. Yeah. And I don't mean rescued as in, oh, gee, we got him out of the sand. I mean, oh, we got him off the beach that was collapsing underneath the car.
Yeah.
Up the Cape, places like that, the Gulf once. With one of Gleno's trucks, actually,
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he had that much bloody coffee machines and Eggs Benedict machines. And, he had that much stuff in it, being Gleno, that it just sank as the tide was coming in up the Gulf.
Yeah.
And it's the weirdest thing because you put your foot down and then there's a hole and you've lost your leg, because the water's coming in underneath the sand.
Yeah.
Because it's so shallow. When the tide goes out, you can see miles. It's not like Wynnum mudflats. It's miles and miles.
Yeah.
And so we parked down near the water doing something, blah, blah. The tide's come in a bit, but you don't notice because it's miles away still.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's got very wet underneath. And all of a sudden, Gleno's gone to move his truck.
Yeah.
A big 79 loaded up to the gills, and it just went boomf and sunk to the rails. I
think I remember that episode.
Yeah,
I think you were all stuck at one point, weren't you?
We were all stuck on the beach. I was stuck. I got stuck going back to get him.
Yeah, I remember that.
Keno was pulling a trailer. He got stuck.
Yeah.
Man, we lost about 10 MAXTRAX on that beach. We never saw them again. They're down there somewhere.
Yeah.
But that was middle of nowhere. MAXTRAX saved the day.
Yeah, well, it's the best product. But for me, it's like even like that American company bought Tread, MAXTRAX, Rhino Rack, all those different ones. So it's like there's not a lot of, it's all owned by the same place now. But for me, it's like there'll never be a Tread on my wall because of Brad and Paul and like Ben and all the other boys too. But it was Brad that gave me that first sort of, leg
kick.
up. Yeah. And for me,
Legend X, they do suspension, don't they?
Barney does like intercoolers, tuning, snorkels, sliders.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they do suspension, but that's another brand.
So he's a fabricator?
Yeah, well, Barney's parents owned, I always want to say Carline mufflers, but it wasn't fucking Carline, Genie.
Oh, okay.
So he got into basically rebranded Genie stuff, and it's just exploded from there. So, but they do full builds, they do everything. But some of it's like he put me onto for my snorkels there. So we get those snorkels done, but I don't do them with the Wildside logo in them and that.
Yeah.
He was one of the big supporters of me since the very beginning, going, just put your logo on fucking everything, So it's which
works.
Yeah, he's a good egg. He's just one of those blokes that, he's had some success but he's always got time to have a chat, Yeah.
Very cool. So what do you think of Pauline? I've never met her. I had her in my truck once.
Did you?
Yeah, well, that was during the election, and she had Pauline
Yeah.
body length signs.
Right.
stuck on the fences outside the polling places.
Yeah.
So I went in to vote and I pinched one. And I put it next to, we were on a trip up north, you know, and I had Pauline sitting next to me, and I twisted the top around so that her face was in the window.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and she's smiling like she did in the election poster, you know. Everywhere I went, people would see you coming with Pauline in, and they'd cheer because it was Northern Queensland.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, they love her up there.
Yeah.
So what was she like, as you know?
Look, I mean, you know, part of it was a typical Polly.
Yeah, of course.
But when, like, James Ashby rang me and was basically vetting me, and he was sort of just said, look, you know, we just want to make sure you're not going to stitch her up. I was like, mate, I'm about as far removed from a political reporter as one gets. I said, look, my only thing is I don't want to talk to Senator Hanson. I want to talk to Pauline.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, her story, you know, like, and he was just like, that's perfect. Yeah. Look, that was 2 hours. We had a drink and beer and talking nonsense, and you know, it was interesting. What I took away from that was that she unfortunately suffers from, she gets a bit of a tremor in her voice when she gets passionate, and she does cop a bit of shit for that, and it's unfortunate because it would be nice to be able to deliver a message and have it come across
Without
strong
the
and
emotion,
yeah, you know, but at the same time, it's like she's just that fucking passionate. Look, I think she's a very interesting woman. She's led a very interesting life. And I genuinely walked away from that going, she just wants what's fucking best for Australia.
Yes.
You know,
I've always thought that, and yet you go down south, you know, go down to Victoria and listen to people down there talk about our Pauline.
Yeah.
Wow. Mind you, look at Victoria, you know, like,
well, yeah.
what would they know? Most of them move up here.
That's what I was going to say. There's a reason
So
most
did
of
she
them
drink
left.
beer like this?
She did.
That's good.
Get into it. Hey, yeah, fuck. Actually, she started with a VB.
Yeah, it was a VB.
It was
Did
the
she?
only VB I've ever had in the fridge. Other than the last time I drank VB, we were 18, drinking VB throwdowns.
Oh,
They were
throwdowns.
fucking horrible. Camping on the border at the Gold Coast.
Straight out of the box.
Yeah, they were probably warm by that point. But that's the last time we had VBs. And she was like, oh, you know, yeah, I'll have a VB. She was meant to bring down a gin.
Yeah.
Because she's got her own brand
okay.
of gin and vodka. But whatever happened and she didn't bring it. But yeah, no, she had one VB and then she had a Great Northern, and just a very interesting lady.
Yeah.
You know, little Mick, when he was on, he was telling us about how he was running for something at one point.
Yeah, he ran in the local, not council, he was state election.
Yeah. Well, he was telling us he was on a plane with her, or was it a plane or a bus? I think it was a plane, and she was talking about something with her people, and he's gone, hey, just so you know, like I'm running in this as well.
I can hear you.
I can hear you. You know, just doing the right thing. And whoever it was that was with her, I think, said something like, oh, you know, well, when we get off, we'll have a chat. But as they've walked out, there's a couple of big burly tattooed blokes and waiting for Mick, you know, and they've just obviously gone, oh, fuck this, and took off the other way.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, look, I think she suffered from a lot of bad 20-second sound bites.
Yes.
I think that's really the biggest thing.
And from this polarisation thing too.
Absolutely.
And probably, and it's probably not me who should say this, but it's true, women politicians in Australia get the shit beaten out of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we got more and more of them, but they don't have to step far very wrong to really cop it, whereas we seem to give the blokes more. Julia Gillard, when she was Prime Minister there for a little while, she's a smart woman with a lot going for her. But, you know, they just came the crap out of her. I mean, and to send Pauline to prison, or threaten to, that was just ridiculous.
No, she went in.
You know?
She did time for it.
Yeah, but she would have been treated really well in there.
Well, that was my question, because she said they were in the maximum security stuff, and I was like, well, what the hell were you in there for? And she goes, it was actually for her protection.
Oh, okay.
They couldn't let her out into the Gen Pop. Like, they had her in solitary.
Wow.
For her protection. Which is like, I mean, shit, you know. And then for all of that to have come out later and, you know, about how dodgy it all was, and it's like, yeah, that's rules got changed. And look, Julia Gillard didn't do herself any favours the way she got in, though.
Oh, no.
You know, it's kind of like, you know, but no, I get it.
It's not, it's just a gut feeling,
Yeah.
you know, like, yeah. And it'll change, everything changes, but I honestly think, you know, politicians are supposed to lead the country, but most of their attitudes are so backwards, it's not funny.
Yeah.
You know, there's not too many true leaders punching them. Anyway.
Have you ever thought about having a run at it?
Yeah, I had a go I ran for the Senate twice, but that had more to do with trying to raise, this is back in the old Unlock Australia days,
Yeah.
and all I wanted to do was raise awareness. So by standing for the Senate, you get your name on the ballot paper, you get this, that and the other.
A lot of eyeballs.
Yeah, you get a lot of eyeballs and you get to talk to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden a lot of politicians who would otherwise not want to talk to John Rooth, the bloody bumpkin who drives the old truck,
Yeah.
you know, oh, you're running for Senate. Well, maybe we should have a talk, you know, maybe we can swap some whatever.
Yeah.
And so that got me into heaps of discussions to the point where I realised I couldn't stand being a politician. In fact, the first time, a lot of it's got to do where your name is on the vote paper in the Senate.
Yeah.
You know, and I was running for the Liberal Democrats because they paid all the bills, and I didn't necessarily not agree with their policies. It's just they were fine, you know. They're kind of free livers, whatever. But they had the name. So you stick Liberal Democrats in front of Liberals on the voting sheet, and all of a sudden they're getting into Parliament. That's what happened down in New South Wales,
Right.
and in South Australia, because people would just see Liberal and go, there, that's the way I vote.
Right.
Because it really is, it's the voting paper, and whether or not you take that piece of paper that tells you how to vote,
Yeah.
you know. So the first time, I'm right up this end of it somewhere,
Yeah.
and I got, I don't know, it surprised me. I got more than the marijuana party, you know, and I think I got more than the people who love dogs party and a couple other things. But,
Right.
But not frightening, you know. And then the second time, my name's up here fairly close. Well, the list is this end of the... And I'm watching the results coming in and I'm shitting myself.
Well, fuck, I might have to do this.
Fuck. Well, no, I already had a plan worked out. I'd worked it out.
Right.
I'd told Karen, you know, I said, listen, if this comes off, I'm going to score a lot of brownie points for promotion.
Yeah.
I'm going down to Canberra in Milo.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it in low first.
Yeah.
I'm going to click the diff locks on and I'm going to open up the hand throttle and get out, and it can go up to Parliament House and through the windows, and I can go to jail because
Right.
I'm going to enjoy jail a whole lot more than enjoy being with those dickheads, you know? Because at the end of the day, I mean, I'm not having a go. Well, I am having a go. But most of them are not people. A lot of them have got charisma. I've met heaps of politicians. But they're not people you really want to hang out with because, man, they got egos. Prime example, just recently, who was it who went to China? Everyone else has gone, piss off. It's a communist country. They got the Russian dictator who starts wars, and they've got that idiot from Korea going to watch a military parade. So who goes? 2 Australian ex-state premiers. Knucklebrain Dan
Andrews.
Dan Andrews, thank you.
Yeah.
Who, you know, Chairman Dan.
Yeah.
You know, one of the most, anyway. And who was the other guy? Bob Carr, who used to be Premier of New South Wales. Now, Bob Carr hasn't even got a car licence. That's how in touch with reality he is. Why do they go to China? They're ex-politicians that no one gives a shit about. It's because being a politician, a lot of it, for a lot of people, is about the ego. They like having their ego stroked, you know? And so they go to China, suddenly they're important again. They're getting to stay in a palace, they're getting this, they're getting that, you know? Everyone in Australia's going, what the fuck? You know, why are they there?
Yeah.
Well, if you understand the mentality, you can see.
Yeah.
The best politician I met was Ricky Muir. Have you heard of him?
Name rings a bell, but I don't know where
he
from.
was like me. He was on the Senate ticket and he was representing the United Motorists and people who like handguns or something. I don't know. Right. It was something to do with motoring, I know that.
Yeah.
And he was down in Victoria running for the Victorian Senate. And Ricky got in. Now, Ricky, there he is.
Right.
Ricky he was unemployed with a wife, an old Pajero, 4 kids, and he used to work in sawmills every now and then. Really nice, decent kind of a bloke, you know.
Yep.
Was that the one who was in charge of the motor enthusiast party?
He wasn't in charge of it. He stood
yeah.
for the party. That's right, motoring enthusiasts. So, because of the way our system works,
Yeah.
all these people who didn't want the preferences to go to the other team gave them to Ricky.
Right.
You know, so you vote Labor and second on the ticket would be the motoring party. You vote Liberal and second on the ticket was the... So Ricky got in on preferences,
Right.
which is a weird system, but it worked for once. I think they've changed the rules since then.
Okay.
Ricky goes to Canberra. His wife writes his speeches,
Yeah.
mostly in biro on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
But within a couple of years, man, he's picked it up. He's
Yeah.
worked it out. He knows what's going on. And his next gig, when he gets out of politics, he's going to go back to Canberra and be a, what do they call him? Not a rep, lobbyist. He's
Yeah.
going to be a lobbyist. So pick up a cause and go, you know. But he'd had enough of it. You know what he did? He took his money from 4 years in the Senate and bought a sawmill and went back to Victoria, went back to cutting up trees.
Yeah.
Didn't he get in trouble for doing a burnout in the car park?
Yes. Yeah, he's a good bloke. Yeah.
That's
There
awesome.
should be more of that.
Yes.
I would have done it with all four wheels up the steps if I'd had a chance. But, you know, I mean, yeah, it's different strokes for different people. I don't do committees,
No.
you know, tried that. I don't really do office jobs.
No.
That's what that is.
Yeah, and I think that's the hard part is going into a system that's rigged to a point where you go, I'm not allowed to agree with what you're saying because you're on the opposite. That just seems dumb.
Yeah, I reckon that person there's got a good point of view.
Yeah.
Can't be on this.
Yeah, no, I was being a smart ass ages ago because it was the thing that got me with Trump the first time around was that he didn't take the salary.
Yeah.
And that was, I was always like, Australia needs, what do we got? Like Mark Boris, and there's a couple of them that are very wealthy that wouldn't need the salary, but are probably business orientated enough that they could probably step in and do something like that. The biggest drama is like the system seems to be just rigged to a point where it's like, however it happens, one of the two big ones is getting in, and it's like you can't have that independent third party coming in going, you're all full of shit. How about we do this and do what's best for the country?
Can't do that.
No.
And the system is getting worse and worse because it gets more and more entrenched, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what's going wrong now. One of the things I found out when I ran for Senate was that for every vote you got, you picked up some money from the, and I never knew about this, but it was basically like a repayment for your campaign costs.
Right.
Okay. But the way it was scaled was like, if you're down the bottom, you don't get anything. If you're in one of the big parties, you get shitloads of money,
Right.
you know. So essentially, they've got everything rigged to suit a two-party system,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
That's just the way it is. Anyway, what are we doing talking about politics again, Ben?
I don't know.
There's got to be so much more to do. Do you like Trump? You do, don't you? Or do you just like him because he kicks shit in the face of all those...
I like him because he's just a loose fucker.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't write speeches. He gets up and he shoots from the hip. I mean, I don't know what it's like to live in a country under him as president, but I mean, he as far as the commentary that you could have over there and the comedian factor, like, he gives them a lot to work with, you know. I mean, it's the first attempted assassination in a while, so he's doing something to piss some people off, you know.
You're right.
I think that's always the, you know, when you start developing the haters, it's like, you know, you're rocking the boat in one way or another. Look, I think he did pretty well with the first term, as far as my knowledge on it. Like, this is the thing. I didn't care about any of this shit before the show.
Yes.
I was living under a rock.
Now we're getting to it. Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, I got up, I went to work, I, you know, played with my toys, I saw my kids.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, if it was almost to a point where it's like, if information got to me, it's pretty bad. Because I don't watch the news. I don't, you know, like, and it's like this whole thing and having these conversations has opened me up to a world that I just was not aware of.
That's good.
You know, so it is. It's really interesting. It's a challenge though, because it's like anytime you find out something new, it shows me how much I don't know. You know, but my curiosity usually carries me through a lot of it because I love stories. I've always loved stories, and it can be on anything. You know, whether it was Pauline or the mental health ones we've done or whatever. It's like I get a lot out of that.
Yeah,
you know?
sure. Yeah.
And it's with the undertone of the automotive stuff because that was all this was ever meant to be, was fun.
Talking about cars,
talking
and
cars, drinking beers, you know, whatever. And it's just grown. But I think it's listening to the universe this time, because I wanted to do, like, I've done the build series. We've done a few of those episodes and all that, and that's really where I wanted to go. I was telling you last time, I was like, there's a million touring shows and travel shows and destination shows, and I was like, I want to go back to the workshop. But it's like everything keeps pushing me here.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like just getting to a point where I'm just listening.
Just let the universe do its thing.
Yeah, pretty much. It's been a lot of fun, and it's like getting to have conversations like this that you just, I mean, like, who the fuck gets to, you know, do this? And it's like, you know, I mean, I know I've had some conversations with people where I've been like, that was probably more than I was expecting. And, you know, like, I think we had Melinda Richards. She was a published author, and that was 3 hours. Like, I finished that, and my head was just, took us through some stats on some things that just blew my head. And I left that episode, my brain was just fried, you know. But no, it's really cool. It's I think it's just following where I'm pointed, I guess.
Yes, that makes sense. Yeah.
I did want to bring up. I've got. So, have you heard anything about the Harrison Payne initiative?
No.
Okay, so it's totally random that this popped up, but I was going through some of the old videos, and one of yours popped up. I think it was Milo 2, and you tipped it on its side down south somewhere.
Oh, right.
You and your lady were in the car.
Oh, yeah, that was Land Cruiser Park, actually.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, a bit north. But
Right.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. But
Did you notice the cause of that?
Well, it looked like you just lost the line of where you were going.
Yeah, basically, it was 100% driver error.
Right. Okay. I thought you were going to add something funny in there. And I was
I'd
like,
love to be able to add something.
Yeah.
You know, I'd like to be able to say, oh, gee, or, you know, no. I'm driving down the hill like I've done a million times. I know what I'm doing. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
Gee, that looks interesting. I'll go that way. Idiot. Anyway, sorry. You were going to say?
Well, that's how quick it happened, you know. But no, these guys, so Kent and Kylie Payne, they lost their son up at, I'm pretty sure it was Bribey.
Oh, wow.
In 2021. He was a young bloke, and they were just being silly on the beach. He was a passenger, and the car, I think it busted a bead and flipped, and he died basically on the spot. But they've started something called the Harrison Payne Initiative, which is educating these young guys coming up about off-road safety and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's good.
What they're doing is awesome, but I think there's the fun side of it, like for you guys, because I think you've tipped Milo over a couple of times, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was trying to work out how many times I can't.
Yeah.
Between them, yeah.
But there's that, you know, when everybody's okay, it's like you get to have a bit of a giggle and stuff like that. But I mean, you guys are you're advocates for having fun, but keeping it safe. And I know one of the, I think it was a Fraser trip, got pulled over and the copper threw the book at you. You know, like the guy that you knew.
Yeah. Oh, he's a good mate of mine, still is.
Yeah. So it's like, I think like you're a big advocate for getting out there and having fun, but doing it safely.
Well, you know, that is a case in point. Okay, now, the one thing I hate is people who speed on beaches.
Yes.
There's just no excuse for it. You know, first of all, why are you in a hurry to get somewhere? You're already there. You know, this is one of those occasions that It's not going to happen forever. Sooner or later, they're going to lock us out.
Yeah.
It's probably the most joyous thing on earth, driving up a beach. You know, the seagulls and the water, you got your windows down, it's just a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
You want to go fast. Dickhead. No one can hear a thing because of the noise of the waves, and you got little kids popping their heads up out of holes.
Yep.
Man, that really shits me. I invited Pete, who's at that stage, I think he was inspector in charge of traffic or something.
Yeah.
He used to ride tour bikes with me years ago.
Oh,
he was
wow.
a tour guide in the desert.
Yeah.
Brilliant man on a motorcycle, four-wheel drive, whatever.
Yeah.
And you know, what do you want to push? And he said, speed limits. I said, you got me, brother. You know, let's do it. Fortunately, all those defect notices on Milo weren't real.
Yes. No, we figured it was a good setup, but it was like, that'd be an interesting pit stop.
Oh, man, the number of times I've been pulled over by coppers, and it's always the same line. I probably told you this last time, but it's always, this thing doesn't look registerable, you know. Only kidding, Roothy.
Yeah.
Can I get a photo, you
Yeah.
know, whatever. And so we stand in front of the winch that shouldn't be there with the steam pipe joining the chassis that shouldn't be there with the wrong number plate because I put the one from the other truck on by mistake or whatever in front of the exhaust pipe that's poking out in the sky and we take a photo.
Yeah.
You know, but I wasn't doing anything dangerous,
No.
you know.
No.
Look, and this clocks back. This is great. I want to know more about it.
Yeah.
But this clocks back to the fact that young guys, and I'm still 18, so I really know this,
Yes.
have no fear.
Yeah.
Do not know that they're going to die. You know, I rode here on my motorbike tonight.
Yeah.
But you start to take care as you get a bit older, you know, when you got kids or you get married or you just get a little older and you see too many of your mates, you know, lose an arm, a leg, an eye, whatever, from being idiots or dead, you know. And as a miner, I saw plenty of cases where a bit of common sense might have saved something,
Yep.
you know. Was I operating with common sense? Probably not back then.
Yeah.
But how do you teach young people who, especially young blokes, who are basically screaming around on hormones, you know, listen, don't do donuts there.
Yeah.
You know, oh no, don't triple turbo your WRX.
Yeah.
You know, like, just be normal here. You know, you can't use that.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen, does it?
No.
We're all out there doing it. You were telling me about your mate with the 5-inch lift and the
Yeah.
3-inch body, you know, like Ticket City.
Well, that's the thing. But I mean, it's one thing to push the limits with the road cops, you know, and then it's that whole other thing to be out there, you know, in the bush or on the beach or whatever, and just not paying it the respect it needs.
Too right, and if that's what this is about, that's great, because
Yeah, it is. They're trying to raise. Bring it up, Shawnee. His parents raising awareness for. I think they deal with a lot of. There he is. There's his young fella.
He just got his P's, did he?
Well, he was the passenger though, so it was this. You know, I don't want to go into the legal case, but they went to school together. But it's like it just didn't need to happen. You know, it's just young guys just like full of bravado and bullshit. You know, like we've all done it, but
We have.
you know, I mean, God, there's been stuff that God we were doing back in the day, like my old Datsun Stanza. You know, doing
Sean's kind of sliding down there, isn't he?
yeah.
I don't want to wait up to too much.
Yeah, no, we've done some, but you know, for whatever reason, you just you get lucky, right place, right time. But yeah, no, they're raising awareness for the young guys coming up. They've got that foundation there because it's there's just no need for it. And as much as you guys make it look fun, it's it's always had that undertone of. When something went wrong, it's like, all right, let's get safe first, and then fix it. You know, like.
So, now, look, this is probably the wrong time to address this, but my boss, well, when I was a subcontractor with Milo, anyway, the guy in charge of the company, he said to me one day, he said, "Listen, you're going out there in the bush barefoot." I said, "Yeah, well, I've always done that. You know, like
Yeah.
I don't like wearing shoes, especially in the bush. I will in Tassie because it's cold, but nowhere else.
Yeah.
And my feet fit the ground, and I got traction, and I understand what I'm doing. I'm just fine.
Yeah.
Okay, he said. Then about 2 weeks later, he never let go on anything. Always used to push it to the limit. And this time he said, I've got a workplace health and safety bloke to come out on a trip with you guys to see what you can do to make this safer.
Right.
I said, it's going to be interesting. So we go out in the bush. First thing he says is, where's your orange vests?
Oh,
You've all
fuck
got to
off.
wear orange vests. Now, he's right. He's
Wow.
right. You should wear an orange vest, in the bush. Because if you're winching and you're doing this and you're doing that. So we put on orange vests and then we look at the camera, and the first thing, you can't see anything. An orange vest on a camera blows everything out, especially in those days because it was film,
Yeah.
That's the first problem. Second problem is I can't wear these boots. And piss off, I'm not wearing steel caps in Milo all day through the bloody desert. You're joking. The floor's already 80 degrees. And the whole thing, everything we did, stop. He was there with us for a day
Right.
before I suggested to him over dinner that maybe he'd like to go home tomorrow and write up his report because there was just no way.
Yeah.
No
right.
way. And then when I go back to the boss and the report's been written and we look at it and I say, look, we can do all this, but you won't sell another bloody magazine
Yeah.
ever again because people don't go bush doing that.
No.
Somewhere between that and being a total yahoo is the common sense thing,
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
Now, back in my early days in four-wheel driving, people were still dying from bull bars coming detached when people were snatching them or winching off bull bars that had been tacked on to the grill of a Suzuki Vitara or something. You know what I mean? And
Or toe balls flying through
toe
windscreens.
balls flying through windscreens, everything. Now, slowly we educated that out. The next stage is, and maybe we're getting there now, and maybe this is part of it, the next stage is to go, all right, you might be in the bush, you might not even see anyone looking at you, but there's rules.
Yeah.
And you need to follow them, It works. It just works. It keeps you safe. I think the reason we get all these yahoos going bush these days is because it's very hard to go, like, you had your Datsun, was it?
The Stanza,
The Stanza.
Yeah.
So you could go ape shit in that on the road and probably get away with it. These days you can't. Too many cameras, too many cops, too many. So those guys, you when you were younger, me when I was younger, hoons, it's a whole lot easier now to hot the hell out of your Hilux and go bush.
Yeah.
Carry on like an idiot out there.
Yeah.
We need to at least, I don't know, I've always thought they should open up all the bush, give access to everyone who has a permit. And the permit shouldn't be your normal government bullshit, just give us all your money.
Yeah.
It should be a genuine thing where, you've done a course in safe off-roading, or you've done a course in winching, or you've done a course in, what's an Aboriginal site and what isn't. And you need, it could all be done on the web. It could be fairly simple. It doesn't have to be hard.
Oh, the technology's there for all that now, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But you need to tick all the right boxes, come out the bottom with some understanding before you go bush. Here's your ticket, there you go. And if you screw it up, we'll take it off you, just like we do with licences.
Yeah, look, we were talking to Tony from GME. The concept of the, when you go to the shopping centre and it takes your rego for your hours that you were there and you pay it at the end, you could have a bloody solar-powered setup like that and have access to all the tracks. You got your sticker on your windscreen, it's attached to your rego, they know who's coming and going. And if you add to that they've got to have done some course, some accreditation, but the government can be making money on this stuff and facilitate it for everybody instead of shutting us out more and more or giving it away or whatever they're doing.
Yeah. Well, as soon as National Parks gets involved, they're already getting paid, so they don't give a shit.
Yeah, true.
Sorry. You got on we suggested that 20 years ago in Unlock Australia when, boom gates had solar panels and, a camera and blah, blah, blah. Fantastic idea.
Yeah.
However, it doesn't fit in with the can't drive over a blade of grass, you'll destroy the whole ecology thing, which is something that comes out of ANU in Canberra probably the most lefty university in the country.
Yeah.
And that's where people go to learn to be rangers,
Yes.
And the whole thing is processed from there out. And so whilst you get a few people that survive the brainwashing, the rest of them honestly believe that people are bad, that anything people do in the bush is going to destroy it forever, that tracks and holes and bogs and whatever, they haven't lived long enough to know that it changes. There was a dickhead. I had to, the ABC rang me up one day for a news program. So, we got this professor from Sunshine Coast University. He's just done all this research that suggests that driving on beaches is really bad for the environment. I said, really? And who is he? It was a German guy. I said, well, there you go. There's no fucking beaches in Germany for a start. What does this dickhead think he's doing telling us?
Yeah.
And they go, and his argument was, it disturbs the habitat of the shellfish and everything else. I said, mate, have a look. Go out to these beaches 2 years in a row. See what a storm does.
Yeah.
The shifts. You can't tell anyone how long Main Beach is on Fraser because it changes by a couple of k's every year.
Yeah.
I go out to Stratty camping a few weeks ago for our annual family camp.
Yeah.
And Flinders Beach, you can't drive down it because half the sand's missing halfway along. Because some four-wheel driver in a Ram did a burnout? No, it's because a storm came in and moved the sand. So where's all the pippies now? They're probably dying to get underneath a Ford Ram tyre or something. They're probably, floating around out there somewhere. I mean, Australia, and this is, I worked on Fraser. I'm one of the last people to work on the sand mining there as a kid, 16, 17. And, that was a resource then. You bulldoze a track, knock down a tree, clear a whole rainforest, do whatever. All that pristine natural sand hill shit on the north end of Fraser is where the sand mines used to be. Cleared everything off. They planted it all again. It all died because it doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Give it another 100 years and it'll be back.
Yeah.
That's how Australia works. And these dickheads are going around keeping us from going into the bush, our bush.
Yeah.
We own the national parks, not them.
Yeah.
But they're the ones who have got the control.
Yeah.
So they'll keep you out because it makes their fucking job easy. Dickheads. Sorry. Oh, this happens every time, doesn't it? Sorry.
No, I agree.
I'm sorry, Ben.
I fucking agree.
This is my hobby horse, mate. Honestly.
Yeah.
And it was one of the times I learned about politicians too, when I had to go around and talk to a lot of them during this unlock thing,
Yeah.
And I remember one in Newcastle. He's the one who taught me the lesson. He was the local member for Newcastle. I had to see him about the beach down at Stockton.
Yep.
So they were threatening to stop all driving, which they sort of did. But anyway, so I go and see this guy. Oh, yeah. Oh, mate, I had a Toyota. Love those Toyota. He's my best mate.
Yeah.
Best mate. Couldn't believe it. He spoke like me. Yeah, fuck, all in favour, mate. Bloody marvellous. Yeah, we want more fishing, more four-wheel driving, more quad bikes. Stockton Beach, that's the place,
Yeah.
So I walk out of there going, geez, I had a win there.
Yeah.
Without even trying. There's two blokes in the waiting room waiting to go in.
Yeah.
It's the local, I don't know how the church works, but the Archbishop and the Bishop or something, two high ups from the church.
Yeah.
They go in and I can hear him through the door. And he's changed completely. Now he's got an upper crust accent. He's telling them that he'll do everything in his power to solve whatever their problem was,
Right.
And I thought, what, these greasy bastards, they can swap that quick, it's not funny.
Yeah.
With parks, the current thing is, and people are going to hate me for saying this, it's happening out at Stratty now.
Right.
First thing they do is they give it back to the Indigenous people.
Yeah.
Because after all, that's what we all do, isn't it? And it's kind of nice. It's a good idea in theory. And then they offer to manage it for them. And then they use them as the excuse as to why you can't come in, because you'll disturb natural Indigenous cultural sites, etc., whatever.
Is that how it's happening?
So that's what's going on. It's happened to all the west side of the Cape. It's happened out at Stratty. At Stratty, it kind of backfired a bit. Right. Because I don't want to go into the whole story because that would make my Indigenous mates out there look bad.
Right.
It wasn't their fault. It's the way they operate.
Right.
They like to share things.
Yep.
And they like to invite people in too. But Parks just basically had to step in and take it over. They still run it. They still call it Minjerribah camping and this, and they probably still employ lots of the locals, but
Yeah.
they've brought it under their control. So now you need a portable toilet. You know, now you need this, now you need that. Man, that's what's going on all over the country. The high country,
Yeah.
you know, it's either the bloody habitat of the hairy-nosed wombat, you know, or it's the bloody cultural blah blah of the indigenous people.
Yeah.
It's always a reason, but the reality is national parks owned by the people,
Yeah.
you know, funded by the people. The original 1930-something constitutional mandate that made parks possible is all about recreation for the people.
Yep.
Okay, so their version of recreation was horse riding, shooting, driving your Model T out into the bush and having a picnic.
Yep.
Didn't quite cover what we do, but that's not the point. You're talking about a country that's so bloody big,
Yeah.
you know? And if you take the entire Nissan Patrol club with 36-inch tyres up one track on a wet day, you're going to screw it up.
Yeah.
It'll stay screwed up until it rains next time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, that's it.
Like, oh, man, look at the damage, the destruction, blah, blah, blah. It's not a nuclear bomb.
No.
It's a bit of mud. And in Australia, every time you churn it over, the water comes in, the sun comes out, it grows again.
Yep.
Sorry. Get off the hobby horse.
No, I agree. That's the hardest part with it, because you see all these news articles and whatnot about the giving the land back to the Aboriginal groups, like whatever they are, funds or initiatives or whatever.
Yeah.
But half the time, like when you hear, there's been a couple of videos that have popped up recently, and I know there's a lady in Parliament who's
Jacinta Price?
yes,
Yeah.
she's an advocate for it, and there's a couple of people that have popped up on the TikTok videos as well that are sitting there going like, we're not asking for all this shit.
No.
Like this is like, because who was it we were talking to? The corporations where they do donations, and it's like for every $100 that goes into a fundraising thing, it's like $70 of it gets chewed up in admin fees.
Yes.
And then the $30 that's left gets forwarded to some other company that 70% of that $30 gets chewed up in admin fees, and you might be lucky if $1 gets where it's going.
Yeah.
And it's like, it seems like there's all these corporations and people's groups saying, you know, yes, we're the Aboriginal face, give us the land, give us this, give us that, whatever. But it's like, there's so many Aboriginal people out there going like,
It's not me.
we're not doing it.
It's not my mob.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
And look, I saw this up the Cape heaps of times.
Yeah.
And the Cape is a really good case study in a lot of ways because it's pretty recent. You know, there were still tribal Aborigines there in the 1950s.
Okay.
Second World War comes along. They gather all the tribes together because we're expecting to get invaded. Now, bear in mind, there's probably 11 family groups. You know, we're not talking about masses of people.
Yeah.
It can't support masses of people. They're lovely people too, by the way. So they bring them all together and they put them into one town, you know, where half of them die straight away because it's a white man's town with dysentery and all the other things and, you know, smallpox or I don't know what. But, you know, it wasn't good for them. And then there's a lot of infighting.
Yeah.
And then, you know, end of the war, everyone goes at Lockhart River. There was a whole settlement at Lockhart River, just got shifted. So you got people who are basically, I don't think they've lost their connection to the land. They've lost their direct connection to their piece of land.
Right.
And I would say that because I believe that anyone who spends enough time in Australia in the bush builds their own connection to the land.
Yeah.
It's as strong as anything else. And it doesn't matter whether you're born in Poland or born in Vietnam or born in Australia or you're Indigenous. Yeah. You will have a connection to the land you spend your time in.
Yes.
You know? So up there, it's like a deck of cards. They get all these cards together, put them all in one place, then they spread them out again. But now it's all different because it's not everyone going back home. It's some people going to the ministry there and some people here, and they're being sent. They're not going. And then 60 years later, National Parks comes along and goes, well, you know, we're going to get all this land back for the Indigenous people.
Yeah.
And then we'll run it.
Yeah.
Now, in the old days, and I'm only talking the 1960s, 70s and 80s, if National Parks ran a place, they employed the sons of the local farmers.
Yeah, I remember you telling me about this.
You
Yeah.
know, they
Yeah.
drive the tractors, they get the firewood, they fix the tracks,
Yeah.
they clean the toilets, they do shit that's needed.
Yeah.
These days, they don't want to do that. They're all university educated, you know.
Mm-hmm.
This is actually, in a big roundabout way, it brings us back to Trump, because what's happening and what Trump is probably doing so well is he's the one who pointed out that the Democrats were just university-orientated woke idiots.
Yep.
They weren't the blue-collar party of the past. Now, in Australia, look at our Labor Party. You find me one bloke there that used to be a mechanic or worked on the wharves or these days.
Yeah.
You know, Albanese, all of them, they're all
Career politicians.
career, lefty, university-educated politicians.
Yeah.
That brings a whole lot of baggage.
Yeah.
And that's what happened with Parks. It's, as far as I'm concerned, it's going to have to swing the other way.
Yeah.
Because it's ridiculous where it is.
Yeah.
You know, when I agree, you can't have, and I'm partly responsible with our DVDs. We encourage people to go bush all the time. You can't have 50,000 people a year going up Cape York without having a few practical rules.
Yeah.
Got to have them.
Yeah.
You know what we used to have up there in the 70s and the 80s? Big holes with a fence around. That's where you chucked your rubbish. Backhoe comes along, digs a big hole. They move the fence, which is just 4 panels, you know, wire fence so the rubbish can't blow out.
Yeah.
You throw your rubbish over the top. When the hole's nearly full, someone comes along, fills it up, digs another one. In this country, you could probably only do that for the next 50 billion years before you ran out of places.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what's National Parks do? Oh, no, we can't do that. That's going to destroy. You have to bring it in and take it out. You know what the result of that is? Rubbish all the way up and down the Cape. Because, not because people are dirty, but because if you've got, you know, you've got little kids, you're travelling in your 80 series, you know, 3 days later you've got a big plastic bag full of nappies and shit and, you know, garbage, and you've got to strap to the roof, and then you start on the second one, you strap that to the roof, and, you know, 2 weeks later, if one of those bags doesn't fall off, you're doing really well.
Absolutely.
Are you going to go back and get it if the kids are screaming? Did you even know it fell off?
Yeah.
Is the next person coming through going to pick it up? Sometimes they do.
Yeah.
But can you see where I'm coming from?
Absolutely.
One guy on a tractor digging a big hole, you don't have to carry it all the way. Chuck it in there.
Yeah.
It's just common sense. It's like having windy loos all the way up there instead of making people carry portaloos. Do you know what I mean?
It's the same sort of mentality as the bloody... What do they got? These fucking machete bins. Have you seen that?
No. A machete bin, okay.
Oh,
Is this a Victorian thing?
How much did they spend on that? I think it was... I feel like it was like 30 million, 20, 30 million.
On machete bins.
Bins. Like, it's for knife safety. It's you can dispose of your knives. And I think it worked out to be about 30, 40 grand a bin, and it's a fucking metal box. It's like everybody's gone. I don't know who the bird is down there that's done it, but it's like nobody's used them.
No, of course not.
Somebody put a TikTok up though. He was a photo of him putting a dildo in there, telling her to go fuck herself.
I like that.
I thought that was good, but it's huh? The machete bins.
But see, someone will be able to say, "Oh, look, we're fixing this problem. We've spent 30 grand on it."
Yeah, look at it.
There it is, a machete bin.
Fucking metal box.
Right.
Where's it'll say somewhere about the dollars. There are 45 safe disposal bins. Where's the money?
And see where they've put it? Outside a police station. Now,
Probably.
if I've just hacked up 6 people out in the suburbs,
Sure.
I'm going to head on in me Daewoo to the police station so I can put the machete in the box.
Yeah.
Fuck, who thought of that?
I don't know who the bird was.
Wow.
I want to see what the dollars are. Can you scroll a bit, Shawnee?
No, this one. This is the police page.
Well, yeah. Copy that and take it over to Google. It's millions.
Wow.
It was absolutely
Wow.
retarded. 45 of them. Yeah, find out what it is. It's.
Oh, you know what, Bo?
But what was the purpose of them?
It's just for disposing of your knives.
But somebody's brother who got the contract to put those bins together,
I know.
he's doing really well.
That's what I said.
He's driving the big Lexus.
When they put that out there, I was like, "Fuck! If you
But
want
is
to
it
do more."
supposed to be to like reduce knife crime or?
Yeah, that's what it's for.
What's it? So a criminal's just going to go, oh, actually, I'll just get rid of it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right,
it's-
Sean. Yeah,
it's-
that's logical, isn't it? Look, the problem is any rule, even if it sounds really good when you say it, normally has a consequence you never thought of. Now, I'll give you a prime example of that.
Yeah.
I used to hang out with a bunch of blokes who used to talk real tough sometimes, and some of them own guns, you know.
Right.
And that's cool.
Yeah.
And then we had the big gun hand in and everything else, and after Port Arthur, and
Yeah.
and it was a good idea. It really was a great idea. I mean, look, we got no gun crime in Australia, really.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what actually happened, and that was that a whole bunch of guys who might have been dangerous with a rifle, if they'd been able to shoot,
Right.
suddenly went and joined Belmont Rifle Club and learnt how to shoot. And I don't know if you've been down past Belmont Rifle Club now.
No.
I think they've got hundreds of thousands of members. They used to have like hundreds.
Yeah.
300 or 400. It was just a paddock with hills and bang.
Yeah.
Now it's got facilities and it's grown and it's grown and it's grown. Now, the result is, because not many people can shoot. Everyone thinks they can shoot. They
Yeah.
buy a gun, they think they can shoot. You
Yeah.
know? They buy a really good gun, they know they can shoot really good.
Yeah.
That's not the truth.
Yeah.
You've got to use the bloody thing, you
Yeah.
know? So you get a farm kid with a 22, which is what made Australia great in World War One. Basically. Everyone was a farm kid who could ride and shoot.
Right.
But you get all these kids, you know, and they grow up with guns, they know how to shoot. You get city kids who can buy guns, they don't know how to shoot. Most of them,
Yeah.
until they join the rifle club, because they're told by the government the only way you can keep a gun is if you join a rifle club.
Yeah.
So you join a rifle club, first thing they say is you've got to be here every month, shoot your gun. Well, guess what? 2 years later, you're a sharpshooter. Now,
Yeah.
you might be the biggest crim in town,
Yeah.
but now you know how to shoot.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy, but I remember once being in a bikie clubhouse where someone had got hold of one of those rotating chain things with the little tin figures that fall over.
Oh, from the
They used to shoot
yeah.
them air rifle thing at the old shows. you
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
They got this thing. It's really funny, you know. They've set it up downstairs in the clubhouse.
Yeah.
They've actually gone to the trouble of painting the colours of the rival gang on all the little
Right.
figures, right?
Yeah.
And then they've got a couple of air rifles, and you know, no one could hit a bloody thing. You know, and they're all these big tough bastards. You give them oh shit, can you just stop it? I can't hit it while it's moving. You know, and this sounds
Yeah.
ridiculous,
Yeah.
but that's exactly what happened. Change the law, make everyone go to school.
Yeah.
Maybe it did work because we don't have gun crime. We certainly don't have it like we have. What's that? 13 million.
13 million. There you go. Just, dude, grab a calculator. There's one there somewhere. 13 million
Oh, it
divided
says there,
40.
machete bins at 325,000 each.
There you go. I was a zero off and then some. Three. And you look at the bin.
Yeah. Oh, that's 325 grand. I can see it there.
Mate.
Yeah, like that's you know, $400 for the bin,
Yeah.
and 324,600
Yeah.
for me mate.
That's right.
Yeah,
Times 45.
what a load of bullshit.
That's what I commented on the Channel 7 News one. I was like, fuck, if you want to do round two, I wouldn't mind retiring early.
I'll
Shit.
build you some bins.
Yeah.
Not only that, they'll look better than that too.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, it's there's some but that's that kind of mentality of the national parks, and it's like the government
Yeah.
under the umbrella of government and all its little bloody legs that it's got coming out has forgotten the reason that it's fucking there, which is for
Thank
us.
you. You're too right, mate. That's exactly what it is. You know, we're looking for some leadership. In fact, who was it? Ronald Reagan who said, don't go to the government if you've got a problem. The problem is the government.
Yeah, yeah.
Kind of right in a lot of ways. But,
Yeah, absolutely.
we're lucky to live in Australia. It's all kind of, semi-bullshit here at least. It's not too serious, but
Yeah.
by crikey.
Well, look,
Mate,
I'll tell you what. God, we covered some shit tonight.
there we go. Wow. See what happens? Couple of beers in
There
trouble.
you go. Hey.
I got to ride home. It's probably freezing outside now, is it?
Yeah, it'll be getting cool.
It's all right.
Well, look, I really appreciate your afternoon, mate.
No dramas, Ben. I always have a. This is why your podcast is going to do well, because you're a good bloke to talk to.
Oh, I appreciate
You're
it.
very, very relaxed. Yeah, good on you.
No, it's good. It's a lot of fun, but it's these types of chats that make it all, because it's a privilege to be able to, share an afternoon and some beers and hear some stories. It's it's awesome.
Yeah, good on you.
But I really appreciate your time coming down, and I'll take you up on the offer to come back again at some point.
No dramas.
Come over and share some more stories.
That'd be
But,
good.
and I'll
Good
get
on
you some
Ben.
details of the Harrison Payne stuff. 'cause
Yes, please do that.
I
Yeah.
know they'd love any support that they can get to get the word out.
No, I'll help with that.
Very good. All right, my man.
Good on you.
Have a
Thanks,
good
man.
night. Cheers, buddy.
Cheers, mate.
Bye, everybody.